Go into a job interview with face tattoos. This is my third one this week. Getting nervous.
You didn't get a face tattoo? Your tattoo is a face? That's what you're gonna hear. And well, when you come to the Gen Z job market, where the hair is neon, piercings are everywhere, and showing up at 9 a.m. Yeah, that's where they draw the line. They want a paycheck, not just the job. They want freedom, but hate structure. Today, we're diving into one of the strangest contradictions in today's workforce, the Gen Z employment paradox.
You have SNAP and you're unemployed, you probably need a job now because they said if you don't have a job, you need to get a job within 3 months. And judging how the job market is and how my friends here on TikTok know that finding a job is hard. I've applied to at least over maybe 70 jobs in the past month. I've gotten 10 rejection emails, and then the other 60 haven't even gotten back to me. So if Trump wants us to get off of SNAP, if the big mean orange man, our president, wants us to get off SNAP, maybe he should create more jobs. Has he thought about that? I don't think so.
I just had an interview. I hate interviews because I just feel like they're lying to me the whole time. They're like, yeah, okay, that's good. That's good, okay. And then this question and this question. But I'm like, did you take one look at me and decide you weren't going to hire me? You know? Yes. It was for a tanning salon. Me, pale as a ghost, walking in there. And I'm like, I just don't, I don't fit, the, look of, a tanning salon. But it's the only interview I've gotten since I started applying for jobs, so. I accidentally told her that I prefer closing, because she was like, oh, it's 8:45, and I was like, I'm gonna have to wake up at, earliest to get here on time. So I was like, yeah, I guess I would prefer the closing shift. And then I realized, the closing shift, they close at 10, what the? And I'm like, I hate closing, actually. Especially if it's late. I hate working late. I'd rather go home early. So I don't know. That's gonna bite me in the butt.
If someone truly wants a decent job, then first, they should at least look like they want one. And second, they need to actually be willing to work. You walk into a job interview, and it's immediately obvious. You don't want to open the store, you don't want to close, and frankly, don't even want to be there. Then when you find out you're expected to show up on time, it's like, wait, I actually have to go to work if I want to get paid. I'm sorry, but this level of delusion is hard to wrap my head around. I got my first job as 15 years old. Just a small part-time job after school. But it taught me the value of showing up and earning something for myself. Ever since, I've always supported myself, sometimes juggling 2 things at once, a main job and a freelance work or side projects. And let's be real, a shift that starts at 8 a.m. in the morning, that's not early, actually. I know some people get up at 4 or 5 in the morning to sell at markets. They work from dusk to dawn, and you don't hear them complaining. Finishing a shift at 10 p.m., also not extreme at all, I think. I've worked late nights before. There were days I didn't get home until nearly midnight. This isn't about some brutal soul-crushing schedule. It's about mindsets. And truthfully, some of these people move through life like kids in adults' bodies. I can't help but thinking a big part of this comes down to how they were raised. And a lot of young people today weren't taught to take responsibility. And now, as adults, they're just not ready for the real world.
To all the people who are just saying, get a better job, get a higher paying job, I can't get one of those stupid jobs that I'm probably not going to work for. If I went to a schooling of any type, I'll probably only be there for a year, then I'll want a new job because I'm going to hate it. I don't care how much it pays me. It can pay me $30 an hour. If I hate the job, I'm not going to stick around for it. Secondly, I don't have the resources to get a higher paying job. 1, I don't drive because I hate driving. 2, I don't go to school because I can't afford to go to school. 3, I don't want to go to trade school, but there's no interest in it. If I go to school, it has to be something I'm interested in, which is none of this bull that everyone pays, because I hate it. Okay? I hate my jobs. Great, yeah, and I get you have to do it even if you don't like it. Well, guess what? I'm not going to get a higher paying job if I'm not going to care for it. Okay? There you go. So, you, all of you, and off.
Your father should stop allowing you to be beta. Don't be a beta male. Let me know how it goes.
You know what? You don't have to love your job. Honestly, you don't have to like it. There are people who work plenty of jobs that have zero patience for, but at the very least, they have to pay rent, buy groceries, keep the lights on. Well, not always enough, to be fair, but actually they can get by it. So I just wish someone had told him that is life. You work hard first, then you get to relax and enjoy. There's no such thing as jumping straight into your dream life without putting in the effort. And honestly, I don't think he could have a bright future if he can drop the defeatist attitude and stop giving up before he's even started.
Does anyone remember the 2006 era commercial of spiraling words, and it's saying to you, I couldn't go to college because I don't have any money. I don't have any money because I don't have a job. I don't have a job because I don't have any skills. I don't have any skills because I couldn't afford school. I couldn't afford school because I don't have any money. I don't have any money because I don't have a job. I don't have a job because I don't have any skills. I don't have any skills because I can't afford school. I can't afford school because I don't have any money. And it goes on and on and on like that. Yeah, that internalized into me that capitalism is a hellscape we can never escape from. Anyway, have a good day.
I am a Gen X woman that is heavily tattooed and have had steady employment since I was about 15, so the last 30 years. When I began getting tattooed in the late 90s and early 2000s, the only people that were as tattooed as I am now were bikers, people who've been in jail, or social outcasts that were living on the fringe of society. Today, everybody and their mom, it feels like, has tattoos, tons of tattoos, full sleeves, nurses, cops, people in the military, you name it. Now, when I started getting a lot of tattoos, the general rule of thumb was don't get them anywhere visible. Not on your face, not on your neck, and not on your hands. And a respectable tattoo artist would advise you on those things before they would go ahead and tattoo you anywhere. Where I'm at in my life right now, I'm fortunate not to have to work for anybody else. So my appearance isn't an issue. However, when I did have to apply for jobs and work for someone else, I would fully cover up my tattoos. I would wear a long sleeve shirt. I would look very proper, and I would not show any signs, visible signs that I had tattoos. Mostly because I wanted to be judged on my skill set versus my appearance, because you only have one chance to make a first impression. And it's even harder to find the job that you want and get the interview and all of that when you're a woman and you have a lot of tattoos, or at least that's how it used to be. So my advice to the younger generation that are getting tattoos would still be, don't get tattooed where they're going to be visible or you can't cover them up easily. Also, if you are going to get heavily tattooed and that's the direction you want to go in, or you've already gone in that direction, you should learn a skill set that you can get a job pretty much in any fields. Maybe you're going to end up having to be a mechanic. Maybe you're going to end up having to be a cook and work in the kitchen. If you've got your forehead tattooed, if you have less visible tattoos, you can get a medical degree of some sort and work in the medical fields. I have a nursing degree, and when I applied for nursing school and had an interview, I sure as hell covered up all of my tattoos. and I let my resume and my education, my prerequisites speak for themselves. My prior work experience speak for itself. I did not want to walk into an interview and have them judge me based on my tattoos alone, or at all. Now, after I got into nursing school, that was a different story. However, when I had my preceptorship at the hospital, I had somebody in HR tell me that I could not show my tattoos as a nursing student. It was a bit hypocritical because there were other people that were employed at the hospital that had tattoos and their tattoos were visible, but I was a student and I was not an employee. And so you end up having to play ball with those rules. Whether it's fair or not, that's life. It's just, it is what it is. Also, if you're going to work in corporate or something else like that, you should be advised that having your face tattooed and a lot of visible tattoos is not necessarily the aesthetic that they're going for. You're going to be dealing with a lot of boomers, and corporate America just isn't really big on having their employees have tons of tattoos. Not that I've seen anyways. I'm sure they have a few employees that are tattooed, but definitely not a lot of people with whole forehead tattoos running the register, running the front, that kind of thing. So my advice would be get a skill set, get a job, get an education that is going to make you indisposable, or be self-employed where you're not judged on your appearance. Because I'm not saying that these things are fair. That's just the way things work.
So yeah, I think it's fair to say this. If you want people to take you seriously, then you also need to look like someone who takes things seriously. Appearance is a choice. It's not something you were born with. You choose how you present yourself with a word, and sometimes the word will simply say no. Not because it hates you, but because that is just how life works. When you decide to change your appearance to stand out, you also have to accept that you somehow be held to different standards. You want to show your personality? I know that is perfectly fine, because I do too. I do know that feelings. I also want to express myself a lot. But at the same time, you also need to take it into consideration when you need to apply for some job that, 9-to-5 jobs, some jobs that require formality. So freedom is right, but freedom doesn't mean you're free from the consequences of your choice. That is how the life works. And if the message made you pause and think a little, and if you enjoy honest conversations about this, I love to hear it from your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you find this video helpful, you can please help me with the subscription button right below here, as I'm working very hard to reach my 1,000 subscriber, my first 1,000 subscribers for this channel. And with your subscription, it means a lot to me. Again, thank you for watching, and I see you in the next video.